And welcome to Montreal and Molson Stadium at McGill. Rod Smith and Matt Dunnigan here, and a beautiful night for football. As we had talked about before, just how beautiful. Well, this is the weather, brought to you by the Weather Network. 27 degrees Celsius and a wind from the southwest blowing at about 17 kilometers per hour on this artificial surface here at the new home of the Montreal Alouettes in their second year here in this outdoor facility. Wally Buono used to play for the Alouettes, of course. A very successful head coach and general manager of the Calgary Stampeders, winning as coach of the 90s and 117 wins with a 2-1 team coming in and another Grey Cup ring on his finger after winning it last year. Charlie Taff, his first year as a professional head coach, and what a great start. 3-0 for him, and Matt, he wanted no part of talking about his unblemished record.
You know, a little bit of superstition there, Rod. I can't blame him, though. Having a good start, although the offense hadn't been playing well. It kind of turned it on with AC at the helm.
Calvillo getting the start for the second straight game, and Mark McLaughlin will be kicking off. From the left of your screen, Thomas Haskins and Winston October, the return men for the Alouettes. Week 4 of the CFL underway here in Montreal, and a shorter kick into the breeze taken by Haskins at his 20. Across the 30, gets up to the 35, taken down by Raymond Biggs. This game underway with Anthony Calvillo coming on with that Montreal offense, and the lineups brought to you by Midas. Car care the way it should be. This is who he has to work with here. Of course, Mike Pringle, but a key addition, the wideout Tyree Davis, and up front, a great offensive line back together again for the second straight year. Azumo Okeke, top offensive lineman in the Eastern Conference last year. The veteran backup, Anthony Calvillo, standing under center. And the first set of downs for the Alouettes, and he's throwing right away over the middle, complete. Tyree Davis, first down right away. Montreal close to midfield.
Calgary's defense, led by Steve Anderson, is moving in the inside. He got the mix-up with Miller, so in is Jermaine Miles in the defensive front. Johnson and Hall in the back. On the corners, you've got Hampton and Coleman. Chris is replacing Eddie Davis, who's out for the season with a knee injury.
Davis suffering that injury last week against Edmonton. A gain of 18 for Tyree Davis. Alouettes in business. And this guy always means business. Mike Pringle, good gain, about 7 yards. Off tackle left. You have to think Pringle will be getting quite a bit of work again today, Matt.
Rod, he's so effective going north and south. When his shoulders are pointed to the goal line, he's a powerful runner that can run through tackles. He just showed us his ability there.
And even though he rushed for less than 100 yards in his first 2 games, his numbers at this point of the season better than they were last year, when he ultimately went over 2,000. First ever to do it, 2,065. What a remarkable career for Pringle, and it's young yet. On the option, here's Pringle. First down and more. Pringle rumbles across the Calgary 40, and they're mixing it up nicely against this Calgary defense.
Nice little twist off the corner, just running the option. We'll take a peek at it from behind. It's a good look, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony Calvillo showing his diversity. Again, Pringle getting his feet north and south and making it happen. Just a tremendous play, great conversion on second down.
He can punish teams. Last year, he knocked 2 Calgary safeties out in their meeting here in Montreal. On the fake, Calvillo throws, complete. John Climby, he has the catch, and the flag goes down after he's taken down. It would be a first down Montreal, and it looks like it will be going against the Stampeders.
Tremendous start for Anthony Calvillo, coming out, throwing strikes, got the running game going, short yardage situation, coming off the edge with a quick option. Just a fantastic, and the play action there and hitting the crossing route, just a fantastic job of play calling.
Major foul, face mask, Calgary number 3, first down.
And good news for Calvillo and the Alouettes, as the most penalized team in the Canadian Football League, Calgary takes another one. That's something Wally Buono would like. That has driven him nuts so far, all those penalties the Stamps have been taking. And 2 for 2 in this drive is Calvillo, and Pringle's run the ball well, and Montreal down in striking range at the 10-yard line of Calgary on the first drive of this game out of the shotgun. The pass is complete again, this time to the wideout, Ben Cahoon. A short gain down just outside the 5-yard line.
Talking to Anthony before the game, just very, very positive about his rapport with his teammates right now. He said he had to come over here and earn their respect, and this certainly is helping him with this first drive, taking it down the length of the football field.
In Tracy Ham, the Owls have one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the game, but what a marvelous setup for them to essentially have a couple of starters. Calvillo coming on the scene in 1994 with the Las Vegas Posse when he was a starter then. Much younger, much more experienced now, and it really shows, especially on this drive with flags down. The pass is incomplete, and it was intended for Michael Soles down near the goal line. The flag came out just about the time that the football was snapped on second down. As they discuss it right now, as Calvillo looks on. At the very least, a good opportunity for the Alouettes to get points on the board with Terry Baker and see if they have a chance for more here.
He's declined. Third down.
Of course, with the incomplete pass, Matt, they do decline, so kicking situation. Good start, however, for the Alouettes.
Fantastic start. You'd like to finish with the major and put 7 points on the board, but they'll take 3, and they'll take that opening drive any day of the week against this fine Calgary team here, Rod.
And if Wally Buono looks a little agitated, what we mentioned before, a penalty helping this drive move even further along, although credit that Alouette offense. And Terry Baker wants to give them something to show for it here. A chip shot from 13 yards out. Baker 5 for 8, his longest from 42 this season. And movement at the line, it's a mess. But the kick goes through, no flags are down. And the Alouettes right off the bat on the scoreboard, leading Calgary 3-0 on CFL Live. Calgary starting quarterback Henry Burris, his first start ever in pro football. And it comes on the heels of a good performance and rally in Calgary last week against Edmonton, 11 for 20 and 2 touchdowns thrown in that one.
Wally Buono said he had a tremendous week's worth of practice and was very poised and threw the ball better than he has in the last 3 years.
He didn't know before he was going to play. He's had a week to think about it and to get ready for it. And a very tough Montreal defense. They can really come with the pressure. Well, a fake and the pass, and it falls incomplete. So his first pass goes for naught. And this is what he has to work with. Of course, Alan Pitts. No one has caught more touchdown passes in the history of the Canadian Football League. And Marcus Dowdell had a rough week last week, once again starting at wideout. Of note, at left guard, starting for the second straight game, is Byron Thomas up front for Calgary, filling in for the injured Jay McNeil. It'll be 2nd and 10, the Stampeders at their 35. Out of the shotgun, Burris elects to take off, has some room, and a first down. Henry Burris with the wheels as he gets up at about the 48-yard line of Calgary.
Well, they're going to try to establish a run game, but they got to go up against a prominent front four. Alfred Payton leading the league in sacks. He got on the Hensey Charles, number 6 linebacker, replacing Stephon Reed, was out with a knee injury. And you've got Nash in for Miles, who's out with a leg injury, and you've got 2 of the best corners in the league right there, Smith and Henry.
In the absence of Baron Miles, a big factor for Montreal. He's off to a great start. Now this is improvement for the Stampeders on the heels of a 13-yard running gain by Burris. They give it to Kelvin Anderson, who picks up about 4 or 5 yards for Calgary.
Talking to George Cortez before the game, Rod, he says it's very important for them to establish a running game. They got it going a little bit last week with 75 yards rushing, and they're going to continue to try to dominate with the line of scrimmage with that run game again.
There's a look at Cortez, formerly associated with the Montreal Alouettes, a former assistant here, about 15 years ago. Out of the shotgun on 2nd down. Burris keeps it. He's going to run again, and he gets another first down. And he takes a little bit of a pop as he goes down. But Calgary's moving the sticks, mostly on the legs of Henry Burris.
Tremendous job of getting the quarterback some help. Got a little play action, getting him out and around on the corner. Doing a super job of ball faking with the ball, pump in the air. And then he makes a good decision, get down and secure that rock just a little bit more for us there, Henry.
So first down from the Alouettes 47. Burris to throw again. He has a man. It is complete, and it's Travis Moore short of the first down. It's a gain of about 8 yards. And I'm wondering, Matt, how different is the situation when he knows he's got the start as opposed to being called off the bench in the second half of a game?
Well, according to Wally Wano, it's all the difference in the world, but he says you wouldn't think that he had his best practices since his 3 years of being a Stampeder. This week, he's really put it together. He's meeting the challenge.
Burris has a completed pass under his belt. He's been moving this offense. They're in Alouette territory, and he's throwing again, and he's got a man. It's Alan Pitts. Inside the 25, another first down to the Montreal 23.
Of course, that's a pretty nice target to have right there in Alan Pitts. Already this season, 17 catches, 3 touchdowns. He just produces year after year after year. And if I know I'm a young quarterback and I've got Alan Pitts out there, I'll be looking for him all over the football field.
He is second in CFL history in reception yardage. And of course, as I mentioned before, #1 in touchdowns through the air. Kelvin Anderson on the ground on first down and inside the 20 into the Montreal 18. So Calgary has been able to run the football. They've been able to throw it as well. We have an interesting matchup of 2 offenses so far, led by a couple of backup quarterbacks.
Burris is coming off the edge there, making a great move in the backfield to try to get back to the line of scrimmage. Then he shows you what all good backs must do is break tackles, make the first guy miss, and then get positive yards after that happens. It's good to see Kelvin Anderson starting to get the rock some tonight, starting to be more productive as he sees more opportunities come his way.
As Burris comes off the sidelines to confer with George Cortez, seen there in the middle, the offensive coordinator, and Wally Buono as well. Buono's Stampeders couldn't beat the Alouettes last year. 0-2 against them. A close game in Calgary last July, 29-26, where Mike Pringle ran for only 53 yards, and then Buono's Stampeders came here when both teams were at 6-2, and it was much more decisive for the Montreal Alouettes. They won it 40-32. This one started at the 35, and 6 plays later, Calgary in business. It's second down. 4 yards to go from the 18. Burris to throw right side over the head of Alan Pitts. And it looks like Mark McLaughlin will be coming on for a field goal try to tie this game up.
Well, you come back out as a young quarterback. The other team opposition just took the ball down the length of the football field and put 3 points on the board. So what do you do when your first start in the Canadian Football League? You answer taking the football the length of the field and putting 3 points on the board.
Mark McLaughlin, 8 for 10. He leads the way among field goal kickers this season. Had one from 47 last week against the Eskimos, and who'll forget one 35-yarder against the Hamilton Tiger Cats in Winnipeg last November. It got him a Grey Cup ring. This one from 25 to tie it. No problem at all. Offense rules so far, moving that ball down the field. Field goals to show for it, and a 3-3 tie on CFL Live. By Mark McLaughlin has allowed Calgary to answer back here in this fourth quarter in Montreal, a 3-3 tie. And a meeting of 2 teams that very well could have met last November in Winnipeg in the Grey Cup. Of course, Montreal just missed by a field goal, a Paulus Bolliston field goal by Hamilton in the East Final last year. At the point they had met the second time in last year as a season, they were both 6-2 as mentioned, and they were considered Grey Cup favorites at the time. Montreal off to another good start this year. Unbeaten heading into this one, and tied in this game as Thomas Haskins returns another kickoff and gets this one up across the 35 to the 37, where Anthony Calvillo and that Alouette offense will go to work again. They did just about everything right the last time they had the ball, Matt.
Yeah, you come out after a drive like that, you just can't wait to get your hands back on the football so you can go do it again. He got everybody involved. Got his wide receivers, his slots, his running game going, play action. They did exactly what they wanted to on the first possession. Take the ball down the field, get some positive reps in, put points on the board.
Tyree Davis has a completion, Jock Climby, Ben Cahoon, all in that first drive, and Mike Pringle was running the football very well. Some discussion going on with the officials down right at the line of scrimmage. And now more discussion towards the Calgary sideline now. Not exactly sure what's causing the delay, but they are whistling in play right now. Alouette football from the 37. Calvillo to throw. Finds a man. Jock Climby again. Another Montreal first down up near midfield.
Right now, Montreal is dictating this game to Calgary's defense. Anthony Calvillo feeling very comfortable in the pocket, steps up right there, makes a strong throw to Jock Climby, his favorite target last week, along with Tyree Davis.
Gain of 15 yards. And Montreal on the move again. This time the handoff to Pringle. Left side. Turns around and dances back a little bit more. And not a bad gain on first down. About his average of 5 yards a carry.
Mike Pringle's just following Sutherland, Versval, and Okeke. And he's just the beneficiary of those guys moving them out. He just kind of hiding behind him there in that case and getting positive yards on first down.
I mentioned a game last year. 2 safeties trying to tackle Pringle were knocked out of the game. Greg Knox and then Dave Van Bellingham. That was the game here in Montreal where the Alouettes won it decisively. To talk about a punishing runner. Standing only at 5'9", he is literally punishing sometimes.
He runs a lot bigger than 5'9", 200 pounds. The man brings a punishing blow when he runs the football. He delivers a hit. Not many running backs can do that.
And he's behind only George Reed and Johnny Bright. Each of those 2 men had great careers. They played for 13 seasons. This is only number 7 for Pringle. And by season's end, even if he rushes for only 1,100 yards, he will have passed Bright as well. Earlier this season, he already passed Normie Kwong. Remarkable career. Out of the shotgun, Calvillo. The pass again on second down, complete. Thomas Haskins. Normally a backup to Pringle. The put in this situation to pick up yet another. Alouette first down. The Sticks move again inside Calgary territory.
Yeah, that's the matchup that we're looking for as far as the Alouettes go. Mike Pringle is not as gifted a pass receiver as Thomas Haskins is, so they get him in there, get him isolated. Anthony Calvillo shows great patience of not trying to push the ball down the field and taking what Calgary gave him in the flat.
So it's 1st and 10, Montreal at the Calgary 45. Calvillo's been brilliant so far. And Pringle's been pretty good himself as he gets across the 40. So a gain of about 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5. 2,065 yards last year. Out of the 6 best single-season performances, Pringle has 4 of them.
Yeah, you say if he only gains 1,100 yards this year, Rod. 1,100 yards would be a season for a lot, or a career for a lot of backs.
Yeah. But in his case, you can say only. It'd be like a bad year for him. Calvillo rolls to the left. Looks like it's intercepted by Marvin Coleman.
Anthony just made a poor decision there.
Bad throw by Calvillo, and we've got a turnover. Or are they saying no good? We're going to take a break here on CFL Live. Well, it was not an interception by Marvin Coleman. They had ruled that one incomplete, and instead, the Alouettes tried a 47-yard field goal, and it went wide. So now it is Calgary football with another point on the board for the Alouettes, and Charlie Taft talking things over with his backup quarterback tonight, Tracy Ham, who's only available if Calvillo should get hurt. But what's important for the Stampeders if they're going to win this game tonight?
It's real simple. 206 yards rushing versus Calgary last year in 2 games. They got to control Pringle. They got to control him. Calgary fewest average rushing yards. They need to get the ball running. They need to get Calvin Anderson involved. And they're outscored 2-1 in first and third quarters, and they got to eliminate those bad periods of play.
Well, one thing Wally Buono emphasized yesterday, Matt, was that they absolutely must run the ball more often, as you've been mentioning. He does agree with that. In the past, they've run it and they've abandoned it when it hasn't been successful, as opposed to the Alouettes, who just keep running it anyway, and ultimately it works most of the time. There's handing off. They are running the football. It's Kelvin Anderson with it, and a good gain on first down from the 40.
Well, I know that Coach Buono's happy to see this, and George Cortez, offensive coordinator, is just exactly what they need. Take some pressure off the young quarterback, establish a line of scrimmage, and get Kelvin Anderson rolling north and south, gaining those positive yards and first down.
from Southeast Missouri in his 4th season. A former Rookie of the Year in the CFL back in 1996. And he takes the football again, and he drives, and he gets across the 53. He has a first down for Calgary. An important one for George Cortez and Wally Buono as they want to get more on the ground in this offense.
Yeah, George Cortez looking at his play calling list there saying, hey, this is easy. 2nd and short. I've got all the plays at my fingertips here. I like this. Got to establish good yardage on 1st and 10, and that's exactly what they're doing right now.
When you get the billing of a game between backup quarterbacks, you might think offense would suffer, but quite the contrary on this night in Montreal. Both offenses have moved the ball quite well. Anderson with a football again. He cuts back, stays on his feet, and stumbles across for another first down.
Rod, I'm up here cheering, clapping my hands. That's just great football, folks. He broke 3 tackles there. Just fantastic play here. This Burris coming out, continuing out. Calvin reads it back. He just reads the cutback, breaks it through a tackle right here, stumbles, fumbles, pushes forward and dives to the first down. That's tremendous effort. That's why he's one of the best in the league last year.
Alouette corner, Dwight Henry nearly had him, which would have been short of the first down, but that was the last tackle that he broke before stumbling down. First down yardage, and on this first down, Burris, lots of time, gets it away. He scrambled, and then he completed it to Aubrey Cummings. Another Calgary first down inside the Montreal 30.
Well, Henry saw him, and he just didn't have time to get it to him, and then he was moving to his left, and he was scrambling, trying to buy some time. Young guy did a great job of play action here. Nobody knew where the ball was for the first few seconds of the play. Then he's got to scramble to his left. He sees his man wide open, does a great job of throwing off his back foot, and throws a strike. The rest is history. It's a good, solid play by Mr. Burks.
And they're inside the 30, in business again in Alouette territory. And a play action fake, Burris to throw again. He's mobile, but he stumbles there, he's taken down. Who do you think it is? This is Payton's place. Alfred Payton with the sack. What a remarkable start to the season. He had 5 sacks last week against Winnipeg, and his total is up to 9.
I don't know if we're going to give that one to Alfred Payton or not there, Rod, because right here you see the turf monster just freeze it right about there. He's just stumbling, bumbling on the turf, folks. And then Alfred there, being in the right place at the right time, take that end of the week.
Some of the sacks are easier than others, though, right?
There you go. Obviously, he'll take that one.
An easier one to make it number 9, I would assume, out of the shotgun. Burris, far back. And he gets it away, but his intended receiver had fallen down. Harold Nash was on the coverage, so it falls incomplete. And it'll be 3rd and long, and a long field goal try, I'm sure, for Mark McLaughlin.
He throws it. I think he's just actually trying to throw this ball away so nobody can get to it, Rod. And I think it's a good heads-up play because he was feeling some pressure. He didn't want to take the sack and take him out of a possible field goal opportunity. And you've got Rocco Romano pointing to his finger at him saying, good, smart play. Good, smart play, Henry. Give us a chance to get 3 on the board.
So he throws it away. The closest one there was Aubrey Cummings. You saw him limping off. Got tangled up with Harold Nash. It is a 3rd down. And it will be a McLaughlin field goal attempt with Jack Kellogg to hold. He's counting his players, and they're 1 shy. So 1 is coming on the field now, much to the jeers of the Alouette fans here. Number 69, Byron Thomas, coming on.
He's not going to sneak on the field either, is he, Rod? That's a big man.
About 330 pounds, and it cost them. It's a time count violation. So they get pushed back even further, and this will now be a punting situation. So the ball is at the 44. So it'll be a 51-yard try, and yes, they have changed their minds. McLaughlin is heading off the field. Scott McKenzie, the punter, will be coming on. So a mistake in getting the players on, another fundamental thing, Matt, that costs perhaps the Stampeders 3 points.
Well, you got one rookie making a smart heads-up play to keep you in field goal range. Wally knows this better than anybody. And then Wally's got another rookie not going on to the field goal team and causing them to take him out of a field goal situation. He's just pulling his hair out right now.
Last week, Scott McKenzie recovered his own punt for a touchdown. That one, a lot of pressure by the Owls. He gets a good one away, though. Winston October takes it and just goes down in one knee in the Alouette end zone. So we once again have a tie game as a single goes on the board for the Calgary Stampeders in a 4-4 tie.
Well, you look at Montreal and what they've been doing and why they've had so much success in their 3-0, 81 passes and 80 rushes. That is a balanced attack, folks. And then Montreal leads the CFL with 14 sacks. Opportunistic sacks, mind you, but 14 sacks. And then they've outscored their opponents 28-14 in the first quarter, getting off to good starts. Just a tremendous job by them so far in the first quarter.
And well into this game, it's been a good offensive display, but you wouldn't notice it looking at the scoreboard. And only 8 points on the board, and 2 field goals and 2 singles, and a 4-4 tie. And the Alouette 35, Calvillo to go to work again. Throwing over the middle, deep he wants Chris Armstrong, just a bit too far. Calvillo thought he had Armstrong there in double coverage, but just a little bit overthrown.
Armstrong can stretch it vertically. He frees it right there. He's right here. Chris Armstrong right there. He pushes it vertically. Drives on his defender, closes the cushion, and now it's just a foot race. He gets some help from Fears in the middle. Can't quite get over there. The ball's just overthrown just a little bit. Just a very close play. Almost connected on for a big play early in this game.
Calvillo will work out of the shotgun now on 2nd and 10. Clock ticking down with a flag going down. More flags going down. Calvillo gets it away and nearly completes it. Wanted Chris Armstrong on the play. But there was a flag dropped out just as the ball was snapped, and then more as Calvillo rolled right. I'm pretty certain that at least one of those flags has got the Montreal Alouettes name on it.
You're 1 for 1, Rod.
I don't take too many chances.
Down.
So both going against the Alouettes. Calgary elects to have them just kick it away. Terry Baker standing at his 20. And the drive stalling for Montreal. It's again a long time to get this ball in play. And a low punt for Marvin Coleman. Takes it right at his 33 and stays in bounds with a flag going down and gets up to the 40. Good work by Coleman to stay in bounds on that, but a flag down again.
Something we've seen too often this year, especially on special teams play, is the flags coming out of the officials' pockets for infractions being committed on the field. It just kind of disrupts everything. But bear with us, folks. It's going to get better. It's early in the season. It's for everybody involved too, Rod.
Right.
Officials and players.
Henry Burris making his first professional start. Played his college ball at Temple, along with Swift Birch, by the way. He looks like he's renewing acquaintances there with Alfred Payton. Of course, they have met already. And so those ones decline, and Calgary will start at the 40-yard line. Excuse me, down at the 22, the ball is scrimmage.
If I'm Henry Burris and I got a chance to hug up to Alfred Payton, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do everything I can to get on his good side.
What would he be saying? Take it easy on me tonight.
Well, he knows it. He's going to, you know, I'm going to get you. Again, it's just a matter of when. And Burris is laughing at him going, yeah, right.
Did you ever have any enamored conversations with somebody that was giving you trouble?
Oh, it was great opportunities. I used to always have a great conversation with Bobby Jurison, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, a defensive end who played for years. Bobby and I always had good talks out there.
There was a lot of confusion on the field as to not only where to put the ball, but the stadium clock here is not working. So this should be the last play of the quarter, I believe, as they hand off again to Kelvin Anderson. And yes, it is. The signal goes up, so it is the final play of the quarter that has only 8 points put on the board. It is Calgary 4, the Montreal Alouettes 4, here in the McGill Stadium, CFL Live. Nice night for football and a capacity crowd here at Molson Stadium at McGill University. Boy, did they ever revitalize this franchise, Matt, when they moved out of the Olympic Stadium, out of necessity initially, but what a great spot they found themselves in.
This is incredible, Rod. You know, we went down and joined the party like the CFL is asking all the fans to do. Rod and I took their invitation and went down prior to the game, shaking people's hands, saying hello to folks underneath the stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, there were 5 and 6 people deep in line to get hats and memorabilia from the Alouettes Club. It's just great to see. Great atmosphere here, Rod. Look at that. Tells it all right there, folks. People having fun. Added extra seats, still sold out.
And we invite you to join the party. It's a doubleheader tonight on CFL Live. The second part coming up with John Wells and Glenn Suter at BC Place. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers taking on the other team that has yet to lose this season. The Lions off to a great start in Host City for the Grey Cup this year. Burris under pressure on second down, and he is running with it again. Henry Burris, very quick on his feet. He has been running the football very well in this first half, and he gets very close to a Calgary first down.
Wally Guano tells me he's not very fast north and south, but vertically, lateral movement, he's very, very quick. And here we have a great example of that. He eludes Richards. He eludes Payton. He's out around the corner. He eludes Birch. Now he's eluding. It was just amazing. He's eluded half the team in Montreal Alouettes and picks up a critical first down for him.
And a lot of good things were said about Henry Burris even last year when he was a third stringer and biding his time. Wally Guano seems to find him. He's had some good quarterbacks over the years. Kelvin Anderson on first down. It was a Calgary first down as he gets it up across their 35 to about their 36-yard line. And there is Dave Dickinson, injured actually 2 weeks ago. The injury, his left shoulder, his non-throwing shoulder, aggravated last week against the Edmonton Eskimos.
He's having a tremendous year up until that point. You know, I imagine he's taking a lot of ridicule in the locker room by hurting his arm, by raising it, celebrating after a touchdown throw.
That's where it first got aggravated when he was celebrating last week. He tried to stay in, but he couldn't. Burris is in now and doing well as he completes a pass up across the 45 for another Calgary first down.
This is exactly what George Cortez, offensive coordinator for the Stampeders, talks about. You've got Dowdell, who had a suspect week last week, coming up big, and he's got to do everything he can to squeeze that football there because this man said that Mr. Burris had a strong arm, and he just showed us a little bit of that right there. It's fun to have a weapon like that out there, folks, and George is having a good time.
1st and 10, Calgary. Flag down. Anderson running it to the left side, and a good gain on first down across midfield. About 8 yards. As mentioned, another one of those orange cloths have fallen on this artificial surface here. And it happened right with the snap of the football. Appears to be going against Montreal. So instead of taking 1st and 5, Matt, they choose to take the 2nd and short.
Yeah, it's a tough one there. It's almost a flip of the coin, but they got positive yardage. You know, just hammer it at them, establish the run game early, exactly what they want to do, stay in the rhythm.
There's been good running by Calgary, by not only Anderson, who has the ball here, but Burris as well. He's met with an Alouette wall, but not before he does get the first down. At least his furthest progress should easily have that first down, and the sticks are indeed moving.
I always love those 2nd and short situations there, Rod. And it's easy to capitalize, and again, easy for Coach Cortez to call plays in that situation. Pick up another first down, moving the ball down the football field. I'm telling you, this Burris kid doesn't look like a rookie quarterback thus far in the game.
Not at all. Handling it well like he did last week at McMahon Stadium against the Eskimos, leading Calgary back for that win on first down. And that time, Kelvin Anderson is going nowhere. Ed Fillion, former National Football Leaguer, in on the tackle there. The first quarter stats brought to you by Castrol GTX. Drive hard. And the rushing yardage of note, especially for Calgary that hadn't been running the ball very well, I guess, Matt.
39 is positive for them, and 62 is certainly a good indication that both teams are trying to establish a run, trying to dominate the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 8. Short yardage that time by Anderson, so passing for Burris out of the shotgun over the middle. Complete. It's Dowdell again. Still on his feet. Tracy Gremley takes him down, but not before he gets inside the 30. Dowdell making amends for last week.
Marcus Dowdell, he certainly is. He's shown his fluidity. Here he is right here, folks, coming off the ball. It's almost just a clear, and he's running a drag, and then he's just so shifty. He just gets up in the middle and gets you another 15 yards after the catch. That's a great high-percentage throw that gives the quarterback a lot of confidence, and then you put the ball in these receivers' hands, they can make a lot happen for you after the catch.
1st and 10, Stampeders from the Montreal 29, handing off. Anderson cuts back to the right. Has good yardage again inside the 25 down to about the 23. It'll be 2nd and short for the Stamps again.
Calgary's offensive line doing a good job with Fillion and Richards up front there, tying them up so that Anderson has a chance to cut back and has some daylight to run to. I don't know what George is upset about. He looks a little upset on the sidelines. They got it going on at 1st and 10 here. 2nd and short situation again for him. Great position to be in.
Call it a 2nd and 4. As they hand off again in that situation, and this time the Alouettes are wise to it. Hensey Charles is in there, and Alfred Payton as well. And it'll be 3rd down, a field goal situation for Mark McLaughlin.
Yeah, it just looked like we got a whiff here. We really can't see it there in the picture there, but Mr. Birch is living in the backfield. Kelvin Anderson says, uh-oh, before he even gets a chance to make a cut. Mr. Birch is right there. Cortez talking about what's going on at sideline. Son, you're doing a good job. Just keep settled down out there. 2nd and short situation. This is what we like to do as opposed to that right there. If you didn't see the check, that's okay. We'll get 3 out of this, and we'll learn from our mistakes.
So McLaughlin will try to give the Stamps the lead. This one from 30 yards out. And that is good. Another field goal for Mark McLaughlin. Put the Stamps up 7-4. We'll be back on CFL Live. I don't know him. Believe me, I don't. But he's adding to the excitement. I assume it's he. I guess you can't assume these things, can you? But lots of fans are enjoying the game tonight at Molson Stadium in Montreal. And a crowd expected, they haven't given us the final count, but well in excess of 18,000 that they had before. And football certainly revitalized in this city. And after years away, this Alouette team at 3-0, trailing by 3 in this on the return by Winston October after a field goal, a 35-yarder by Mark McLaughlin to put Calgary in front. As McLaughlin heads off the field now. 11 points on the board in this game. And if you think there's been no offense, consider this. There have been 15 first downs, more first downs than points so far, and there's a guy who's generated a couple of them, in Mike Pringle. The Alouettes don't really need to do anything differently, Matt, I suppose, in terms of moving the football. I guess just got to hit pay dirt.
No, both clubs just got to continue to push the ball down the field and finish drives with majors as opposed to getting these singles and field goals.
Calvillo to go to work on first down from his 32. He hands off. It's Pringle. Bounces around. He couldn't find a hole, and ultimately he's taken down. Jermaine Miles. Miles with the tackle. And that is an interesting story, too. He was suspended briefly. He was upset about not playing because Bronzell Miller was. And then they had a different situation. Bronzell Miller was suspended because he had asked to get another crack at playing for the San Diego Chargers. He was cut from them before. Wally Buono was incensed that Miller would even ask him this. He said no, he suspended him, and he suspects tampering from the Chargers. He's complained, Matt, to the CFL head office. So Miles got in to replace him. So he's out of the doghouse. On first down, 2nd and long, I should say. The pass is complete to Jock Climby, but it is not a first down. The Alouettes are in a punting situation.
Jock Climby getting a groove with Anthony Calvillo in a hurry. Just racking up the catches. It's a positive play on a 1st and long situation. You don't have to get it all back. Just get half of it back and put yourself in the short yardage situation. Excuse me, that was 2nd and long. And, you know, instead of forcing the football down the field, take what they give you, put your defense back out there.
Terry Baker stands inside his 25 to get this one away. Baker leading the CFL in punting average. 48.9 coming into this game. Gets another good one away. William Hampton back for it, just at his 20. And Hampton gets across the 30 after a 51-yard punt. The good average continues for Terry Baker. Calgary has the football. Calgary has the lead here in Montreal. Certainly one of the greatest receivers this game has ever seen, and by the end of that career, he could be leading in just about all departments. He leads this one prohibitively, Matt, and that's a pretty selective list of 100-yard receiving games.
It sure is, and he's way out in front of everybody. And I've had the good fortune playing with 3 out of those 5 there, Kelly, Winfield, and Scott. I know what type of great receivers they were. I couldn't imagine playing with Alan Pitts.
Last week, he had 7 catches for 115 yards in that win over Edmonton. There's Dowdell with his 3rd catch of the game, and a nice move as he gets up. And he cuts, and he gets the first down.
Pitts is consistent, you know. He's consistent. He's a big target. He's shown toughness over the years. He's fought back from adversity. He's just a tremendous competitor and athlete. And understand he's that great guy in the locker room, keeps all the young guys kind of in line as well.
In 1997, he couldn't start the season, and there was a concern he may not play again. In Los Angeles, involved in an incident and suffered a broken hand, but did come back late in that season and contributed once again quite heavily to that Stampeder offense. And you're right, he had some problems, but has really turned it around. A measurement on this play, an alert move by Dowdell after catching it to get up and get close to that first down marker.
This is always an exciting part of football, watching the measurement, watching the officials work the sticks.
Do you talk to them at all as they're stretching it out?
Oh, I'm in their ear right now constantly. Guarantee if you got a veteran down there, he's close to one of those officials, you know, just give him the business, tell him, you know, trying to slip him, you know, say I'll slip you a 20-legger, you know, if you let me, you know, hold just a little bit more, because, you know, Peyton's a handful now, you know. But they're having a good time down there. You got to enjoy what you do, and those people down there, including the officials, are enjoying what they do.
Well, this one comes up a bit shy. So short yardage situation for the Stampeders here on 2nd down. It's just about a foot away. Spotted at the 42, Calgary. And Burris just keeps it with a flag down, however. Could be early movement for the Stampeders, as they would have enough easily for the first down, but they may be pushed 5 yards back on this. No, goes against Montreal. So now I'm 1 for 2 in my guesses, right? So just shut it down right there. So it's Justin Richards calling the offside, and they take the 5 yards instead of that short yardage, obviously, and get up across to the 47-yard line. Burris, the handoff to Kelvin Anderson, cutting back again and getting across the 50, and another nice gain of about 5 yards. They said they had to get Kelvin Anderson the football, and they have been.
They're feeding the football. They're giving them opportunities to have some success, and that's what you have to do. You have to stay with the running game. Even if it doesn't work, you got to stay with the running game. That's what Montreal does a great job with, and Calgary's staying with you here tonight and having some success.
Interesting. You just saw they've been averaging 57 yards in the ground heading into this game. That's the Stampeder offense, and most of it being this guy. But tonight, 100 yards already. So that mission has been accomplished. As Burris is to pass here on 2nd down, complete, and that'll be another Calgary first down. Aubrey Cummings with the catch again.
Just another high percentage throw for the young quarterback, putting him in good situations to give him a chance to have success and to make completions. He looks to the left, very impressive there, showing a lot of poise, looks back to his right, finds a wide open receiver, moves the chains once again, showing a lot of poise.
The sticks move again, and we continue to see a lot of offense in this game. Not in this particular play, however, as Ed Fillion has Kelvin Anderson wrapped up for a short gain, if a gain at all. Ed Fillion spent a few years in the National Football League. He was drafted by the Calgary Stampeders, and they just traded him away. He never played for the Stamps, was just dealt just before training camp.
Yeah, you know, he's getting tired of getting the football shoved down their throat. He says, hey, I have about enough of this right now, and he's going to put a hurt on Anderson when he gets a chance to. And believe me, they're trying to stop this penetration from the Calgary offensive line.
He's from Essex, Ontario. Went to Ferris State. Here's a nice pass and a completion. Alan Pitts gets down inside the Montreal 10. It'll be 1st and goal, Stampeders.
The long bomb run, I gotta love it. Gotta love it. Just fantastic throw. Effortless throw. He's looking Pitt's way the whole time. You can see his eyes there. He delivers a strike, stands in the pocket. He's got all kinds of things going around him. Nice tight spiral, unlike somebody else I know that's talking right now, and throws a great strike to Alan Pitts. Alan does a good job of keeping the defender on the inside, fades away at the last possible second, and makes the reception.
Gain of 40. Hey, don't sell yourself short. Over 43,000 yards. There must have been a spiral in there somewhere.
No. I learned from Tom Wilkinson. I threw the option pass. It was end over end.
Well, 1st and goal. That one goes incomplete. Off the fingertips of Alan Pitts that time. Good coverage by the Alouettes. And
well, Tracy Gravely does a great job of laying off Alan Pitts here, because he could have taken his head off and possibly gotten called for a late hit or a flagrant hit. But Gravely, just smart veteran, been in the league for 9 years, does a super job of laying off, sees the ball's incomplete. He really could have lit up Alan Pitts right there and put his team in a vulnerable position for a possible late hit.
3 years ago, he was the top defensive player in the CFL, Tracy Gravely. And an injury timeout with an Alouette down at the 10-yard line. Tom Hips is down for the Alouettes. 7-4 Calgary leads. We'll be back on CFL Live.
Yeah, critical situation here. George Cortez and Dave Dickinson, the original starter for the Stampeders, talking it over, saying what to look for, what Mr. Young Henry Burris is going to be anticipating right now in the red zone. Critical situation. Got to put a major on the board. And they're over there discussing this right now and saying, look, he's looking for this. He's looking for this. Yep, you're right. I know. 2nd down. We're looking for this. Great conversation. The masterminds of the offense going at it right there, hoping the young man can get it done on the field.
And I'm sure they are pleased with what Burris has done so far. 7 points on the board. There could be more coming up here. Burris. End zone. Touchdown, Calgary. Travis Moore.
Well, that was close to hitting the goalpost right there. That was a nice threaded ball right there. Beautiful strike. Kid's showing a lot of poise out there. Tremendous drive for the Stampeders. Plenty of time for the young quarterback to stand here in the pocket. He's got a pump fake and just lifts it. Oh, and it just goes right up over the crossbar right there. And Travis Moore's got another touchdown.
Travis Moore had a big game against Edmonton last week. 65-yarder from Dickinson earlier in the game for the touchdown. His 2nd touchdown of the season. And this one with the convert by Mark McLaughlin will put the Stampeders up by 10. Lots of offense in this game, and finally some points and a major to show for it. Travis Moore with the touchdown. And a good day for George Cortez. His offense that he put together, talking things over with Alan Pitts there. As Wally Buono talks to Travis Moore.
Yeah, watch the offensive line here. Just this whole entire offensive does an incredible job for Burris to have the time to pump fake, just coming back. Crysdale picking up the loose change there and just giving the young man a great opportunity to see the whole field and have time to get his job done. Credit the offensive line for that drive there and that score. Established a line of scrimmage right down the length of the football field, had good 1st and 10 run plays, positive yardage, and then giving the quarterback time to make the throw in the end zone.
So the Stamps up on the Alouettes by 10 points. Let's head down to the sideline and join Michael Whalen.
The Dave, you're right here. You just saw what Burris can do. The club's really moving the ball well with him in gear.
Yeah, we're taking a page out of Montreal's book. We're pounding him up front, which is a good sign, and Henry's making the throws he has to make. So, you know, it is early. We got a nice lead right now, so he's doing a good job.
Dave, what about your shoulder? When do you think you're going to be ready?
I don't know. Too early to tell. You know, I don't expect it to be real soon, but we're not ruling out here, and it's going to be a week by week, but I'd say a few weeks, and then just see how it heals.
Well, Henry's doing pretty good just now, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Tracy Ham, and he said, you know, you really need two quarterbacks to be successful in this league, and you see in Henry is a great quarterback.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. Thanks you for stopping by. Back to you, Rod.
Thank you, Michael. Boy, Dave Dickinson. He was in a similar situation as Burris last year. Garcia was out. In Winnipeg, he got his first start through 4 touchdown passes, the big win by the Stampeders. He knows it from both sides now.
He sure does.
Winston October had that kick return up across the Alouette 40, so that's where Montreal begins. As Pringle bulls his way along the left side, takes a few people along for the ride. Short gain up to about the 45. As Charlie Taft now has some concerns with his team down by 10. A head coach that is yet to lose in his tenure with the Canadian Football League. First time as a pro head coach, but a long time, over 20 years in the business as an assistant. Also a head coach at the Citadel for 10 years. Or amongst others, one of his players was Lester Smith, the safety with the Alouettes. Second down and long for Calvillo and Montreal as he is looking to his right. Finds his slot back Chris Armstrong, who just dives across the 52 for first down yardage. It'll be close, but it looks like they do have it.
You got a veteran receiver, Chris Armstrong, coming off our left side here. Anthony sees him underneath. Chris recognizes, freezes right there. He recognizes where he's at on the football field and lunges forward for the first down. Smart heads-up play by a veteran receiver. A good, simple, high percentage throw by Anthony Calvillo, taking what the defense gives him.
And so the sticks move towards midfield. And Calvillo to pass again. Sets in, under some pressure, looks deep for Armstrong that time, who trips and falls after the ball hits the turf. Some fans don't like it, but he was overthrown at that point in time with under 3 minutes to go. 2:41 showing in the scoreboard clock here in Montreal. This is CFL Live on TSN. Thank you, James. Enough concern, of course, for both of these teams. What Edmonton does is always on the minds of Calgary and Montreal and Hamilton. With the top 2 teams at 12-5-1 last year. Tracy Ham on the sideline again for the second straight game. He missed the injury bug a lot earlier in his career, Matt, but not the last couple of seasons.
Staying in the game, though, you never know. If AC gets hurt, he's one play away from going in there, whether he's healthy or not, and he knows it. And I tell you, with his competitive instincts, he'd like to get in there and try to turn this around for the Montreal Alouettes offense right now.
On that 2nd and 10, play was whistled down before it even began. And now they're requesting that a few more seconds be added to the scoreboard clock here. At McGill.
Here's Tracy giving some advice to Charlie Taft on the sideline, saying, Coach, I'm telling you this is going to work. This is going to work, right? It's what we need to do. Tracy just staying involved mentally because he never knows when he has to go in there and do it physically.
As you said, Matt, Charlie had said that if Calvillo went down with an injury, Ham could play. Calvillo passing, finds a man, it's Ben Cahoon. Depending on the spot, he could be maybe inches shy. This will be an interesting measure. He's just right about that first down marker.
Great awareness by Ben Cahoon, knowing where he's at on the sidelines, secures the ball, and then moves his feet up just enough where he's able to get the first down.
He does indeed get it, as you can probably tell with the cheers of the crowd. A couple of catches on this night. Product of Brigham Young University.
Seeing a lot of smart play by him. A lot of players down the football field right now, making headsy plays, throwing the ball away when they know they have nothing, not taking a sack, getting the first down when they have to, understanding where they're at on the football field. Just a lot of tremendous play right now, headsy play by both football teams.
And the results, a lot of first downs, as you saw. 7 now for the Alouettes, and the reverse to Haskins, and he runs out of room. Marvin Coleman finally has him strung out and down for lost yardage back at midfield. That's a loss of 7.
Marvin Coleman held his ground and did a super job on the backside of staying at home. That's what you call defensively staying at home. AC is running the reverse here. He fakes. You've got Haskins coming around, and at the top of your screen, you'll see Mr. Coleman hanging out here, and he just smothers Haskins for a loss in the backfield. Tremendous play at stay at home. He made that look easy, Rod. Made that look real easy. A lot of times your attitude is pursuit of the ball, but he stayed home and made the play.
One of the stalwarts of that Stamp secondary for years in his 6th season in Calgary. Under pressure, Calvillo gets out of it and runs. And not a bad game, although he took a bit of a pop as he goes down. Not enough, however, for a first down. Just enough, perhaps, to set up a field goal.
Tremendous job by AC, recognizing that the defense has just dropped off because it's a second and long situation. He's going to take what he can get here, and he takes a lot. He takes a nice shot there. Looks like Alondra Johnson, AJ, coming in there, cleaning up on AC, but AC did a good job of putting him in field goal range here.
Gain of 12 yards, a 49-yard attempt because of that run by Calvillo. This could mean 3 points, although whistle blowing right now. 1:57 on the clock. And the Alouettes calling a timeout. And I'm wondering, what could you be calling a timeout about right now? In a field goal situation late in the half.
Tough one there. You know, maybe uncomfortable, maybe want to talk some things over with Tracy and Anthony on the sidelines. Maybe debating whether or not to go for this with 1:57 left in the half.
The field goal unit does stay on. Baker 1 for 2 on the night. Has the distance, and it's good. A 49-yard for Terry Baker. That's his longest of the season.
11th in a row, Rod, after missing his first 2 of the year. He comes back with a string of 11 in a row. That's solid kicking effort by a kicker.
3 more points going on the board for the Alouettes, and big 3 coming at the end of this half with 1:53 to go on the clock, and now just a converted touchdown behind at 14-7.
I don't know what the stoppage of play or the timeout was for. They might have had a problem up front. No telling. It could be a mixed bag of tricks. A lot of things going on down there, and sometimes you just need a breath of fresh air, and that's might what Coach Taff was going for right there.
Made you wonder, though, when he was talking to Tracy M, they're actually going to take the field goal.
It did.
The unit off. But they get 3 points on the board, and Burris goes back to work from his 35. He's eluding that pressure, gets away from Peyton, but this time it falls incomplete. Not really close to anybody. It'll be second down.
Great work by Meyer securing the edge for Mr. Burris to get out and around. Alfred was hot on his heels, and Meyer and those offensive linemen for the Calgary Stampeders now are just putting it all on the line for the young quarterback.
Don Matthews last week chose to blitz a lot on Burris coming in, see if they could pressure the young guy. He's surprised the Alouettes haven't tried to send more guys right now.
No, I want to make the young quarterback be patient, be consistent, and efficient all the way up and down the football field. And so far, this young guy has. And look for them to start pressuring just a little bit more to try to force the issue.
Passing again for Pitts. No good. Good coverage by Mark Washington, number 23, and the Stampeders will be punted.
Perfect example of what we're talking about. They went to man coverage and they brought a blitz, trying to force the issue with Mr. Burris and make him throw a ball just a little bit sooner than he would normally want to. There he is, coming pressure right up the middle, takes a late hit. Fillion just kind of lays him down. And of course, on the sidelines, you're looking at Coach Buono, and he's not very happy with the protection scheme there and what transpired, and he's letting people know about it.
The punt by Scott McKenzie is taken by Winston October. And October gets up across his 40 to the 42-yard line.
I'd like to see Winston October get in the open field some here tonight. Looks like he's got electrifying speed. Right?
He does have great speed, and a difficult time for him last week. He lost 2 members of his family. And Tracy Ham looking on with the Alouettes.
Tell you, I know he leaned on people like that, Rod, when he was going through that difficult time. And they got a very tight-knit group with the Montreal Alouettes, and people like Tracy Ham and some of those veteran players there, Tracy Gravely, They can really help a young man out in a situation like that.
There he is, right beside Tracy Ham, number 11. What happened? A cousin was killed in a car accident about a week and a half ago, and shortly after, his stepbrother drowned. And he played in the game anyway, and they finally took him out. Obviously, he'd taken quite an emotional toll for Winston October. The Alouettes on first down. Pringle trying it on the left side for short yardage this time.
Alondra Johnson said, no, nothing doing here. I'm clogging this one. He read it very early, came up in the hole. Ashley almost got a tackle for a loss there. Just tremendous read on Alondra Johnson. An all-pro, perennial all-pro, year after year after year, just making things happen.
11th season in West Texas. Second down and long. Calvillo gets it away. Third catch of the day for Cahoon, and this one is longest across midfield. First down, Alouettes at the Calgary 52.
There's an end zone replay. Looking at this right here. AC little play action fake. They're flooding the zone with 3 receivers. Ben Calhoun just sits in the hole, and he gets the first down with a nice little move at the end to get the first down. Good execution of the offensive line, running back, quarterback, wide receiver.
Calvillo to pass again. Complete again, Tyree Davis. Positioned perfectly to move the sticks again down to the Calgary 41. And now the Alouettes are on the move.
AC mixing it up, knows he's only got 51 seconds left in the game here. He's going to a kind of a hurry-up offense here, pushing them up and down the field, anticipating Calgary being in a set defense at this situation of the game, Rod, and just taking advantage of them right now.
Under a minute to go till halftime, yes, and down by 7. A great opportunity to get a little bit closer to the Stamps before they head to the locker room. Passing again. And under pressure, he takes off. He's not getting much in this first down. A gain of about a yard. As the clock ticks down to just under 46 seconds now.
Good decision there on Anthony's part. Not to throw the ball under duress, not to throw it into coverage. Pull her down and try not to take a loss and move up the field as best you can.
Call it a gain of a yard, although it may have been more like a foot. Second down and 9. The throw again. Right side again, intercepted. Timed perfectly by William Hampton. And he is gone. Touchdown, Stampeders. 81 yards. And with just ticks to go until halftime, Calgary is suddenly in big-time control.
Wally is just tickled to death. Just incredible. Well, we said that Calgary's going to mix it up a little bit because AC was picking it apart, and they do. And Hampton reads it perfectly, lays back. Just had that out route completed on him beforehand. Lays back, gets a good jump on the football, then uses God-given ability and his speed just to waltz in the end zone there for a critical, crucial touchdown for Calgary.
His father, William Hampton Sr., was a teammate of Wally Bono's back in the days of the old Alouettes in the early 80s. Well, William Hampton Jr. stuck a dagger into his father's old team, at least at this point in time, heading to the half, the convert by Mark McLaughlin. 81-yard interception return for Hampton and the Calgary touchdown. And what had been a pretty good night for Anthony Calvillo, at least in terms of moving the football, suddenly stalls right there in a 21-7 Calgary lead. And a much deserved rest for William Hampton Jr. as he sits on the bench.
Here it is right here. He's playing on Tyree Davis. He's sitting right up here, folks. Tyree comes up. He just completed an out route right in front of him. He sees this, anticipates it, and breaks on the football, and he's got easy pickings. The only guy he's got to beat. Now, this is a little bit different than running against the kicker in this situation because you got Anthony Calvillo who can really flat out get after it. He makes a nice move on him for an 81-yard interception return.
And his second interception of the season, this one a little bigger than the one before, putting Calgary comfortably in the lead, at least for the time being. Some congratulations offered by his fellow corner, Marvin Coleman.
You're looking at Mike Roach there in the screen as well. He just walked out of it. He's over there congratulating Coach Roach, his secondary coach over there, linebacker coach for him, doing a great job. And excited as young players are getting it done for him.
Seen a lot of interceptions returned for touchdowns, and usually it's the Alouettes who victimize other teams. Irv Smith in week 1, Barron Miles in week 2. This time, they're burned by it as Wally Buono's Stampeders pick up 6 after a pick. This is the first of 2 on CFL Live, TSN tonight. Lots of football for you. 3 games going on in the Canadian Football League. Also the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Edmonton Eskimos. But after this one, we head to BC Place for John Wells and Glenn Suter, part 2 of our doubleheader. It is the 3-0 BC Lions hosting the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And ex-Lions head coach Dave Ritchie coming to town there. The Bombers at 1-2 and losing here in Montreal last week, 30-18. Thomas Haskins on the return. There's a real hush here, Matt, at Molson Stadium. Good crowd energy for a while, but that really silenced them with that interception by Hampton. And James Duffy and Chris Schultz are standing by. They'll be coming up next to have a look at what's gone on in that Tiger Cat Eskimo game. Have a look ahead to BC and Winnipeg as well at a CFL Live, minus Matt Dunnigan, who ventured out into the booth again.
Yeah, somebody's missing in that picture there. Looks a little empty.
Now, what do you do? Do they take 2 pictures? Do they take one with the 3, or do they crop that one down? I'm trying to remember.
I think they color right over my face.
Just paint it out?
That's what they do.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Yeah, it is a quiet stadium here, Rob. I can't believe it.
And it's 18,000 plus, maybe 19,000. I mean, there had been some good energy here. But see if they can get him back into it. This one, Mike Pringle still on his feet and back over to Jack Kellogg as he gets up across the Montreal 50. 18 seconds to go on the clock. They're a pass or 2 away from perhaps a field goal attempt, although a flag is down on the field. And it is down right at the point where Pringle was brought down. Give him some open field. He can kill you.
Brian Chu was going at it with somebody down there. And I believe it was Mr. Coleman. Looks like after the play, it looks like it's going to be a unsportsmanlike conduct.
Wow. Wally Buono hates this stuff. Nothing bothers him more heading into this game than this. He has talked about it, and stuff happening after the play to put a team in scoring position as a result.
And Marvin Coleman's, he's in it pretty tough there, going against the big man, Chu. And it's a situation where he's just trying to hold his own ground. He's outweighed by about 100 pounds. He's getting grabbed right there. Then he fires back. Oh, excuse me, that's Tyree Davis getting involved there. And of course, if you're always the last one to throw a punch, you're going to be the one that's caught, and the flag is going to be on you, and the coaches go over that and over that and over that. Yes, Coach Buono is just pulling his hair out because he tells his players that. I'm telling you, every coach in this league talks about them.
He said he talked the first time. He says he's not talking anymore, though. The fines are starting. He's just going to take their money this time.
Well, Wally's got to vent. He's got to let it out somehow. He's going to do a little talking and some fining.
So, are we to assume that Coleman will be fined? We can't say perfectly, but that was the indication, certainly, by...
His per diem money is gone.
that could be it. Well, this is a more significant roughing penalty. It's put the Alouettes in scoring position as Calville will throw. Finds an open man, although behind Mike Pringle. Couldn't get any momentum going. He had to turn around to catch the football. Not much of a gain.
Not much of a game, but it's a smart play by Anthony because at least he's going to give his team a chance to get 3 points back going here in the half. And so AC understands this. He's not going to force it. He's not going to throw another pick. He's going to do the smart thing and check down and hit the underneath route.
A loss of 1, but not critical for the field goal hopes because it's at the 31, so it would be a 38-yarder for Baker as it stands. 11 seconds on the clock. It's at the 30. So he'll try to pass again. He's looking deep. A flag is down. It's incomplete.
AJ's complaining already to the referee. When you got a veteran middle linebacker complaining to the referee, 2 seconds after the play's over with, he's going to get caught for a holding on Climby trying to go right down the middle here. And I believe that's what we're fixing to see.
There's a flag close to Climby. There was also a flag going down as Calville was taken down.
You got 2 penalties here. Well, Anthony had Jock Climby going right down the middle of the defense, although they were playing with 13. They still found a hole down there, and they just misconnected and didn't connect on the throw and catch, but they had to play what they wanted.
So they lost 5 seconds, though. There's only 6 left in the clock, so on second down, if something goes wrong, they might even have another crack at it with the amount of time left in the clock. This one from 38. Baker. It is good. 3 points more on the board for the Alouettes. And they do salvage something after they had that interception for a touchdown. They're down by 11, 21-10. So is that something for Charlie Taft to build on as they head?
Sure it is. He's got to be positive. You know, look, we're moving the ball offensively. We got to punch it in and get the majors. We got to get away from these field goals. Although Terry Baker's streak now is at 12 in a row. I mean, he's consistent. He's getting the points on the board when they have that opportunity. But Charlie Taft is going to look. Some of the mistakes, interceptions, certainly costly. Difference in the game right now. Close football game. Stay in it. We're used to this. We win close games. We won't get overexcited right now. We'll just stay poised, and we'll come out in the second half and put it together.
Wally Buono, you have to think, happy, yes, to have the lead, but also frustrated to see 3 more points on the board. And the lead is 3 points less just because of what happened. The roughing penalty to put them in field goal range, and that kills the clock for the first half here at Molson Stadium. A good game of offense with that guy, Henry Burris, putting in quite a show, as his counterpart, Anthony Calvillo, -1 pass that leads to pay dirt for the Calgary Stampeders. At the half here in Montreal, it's the Stamps leading the Alouettes 21-10 on CFL Live.
Wally, you have to be happy with what your club did in the first half, but you can't be happy with that penalty near the end there.
Well, double roughing, again, it's uncalled for. Why the official would call double roughing is really beyond me.
Wally, what about young Burris? How is he doing?
Well, he's doing very well. I think he's kept his composure. He's just doing what the defense has allowed him to do, and he's made some big plays for us.
All right, thank you very much. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, Michael. There are your numbers from the first half. The Stamps doing a good job running the ball, out-rushing the Alouettes, which is kind of rare for a lot of teams with 102 yards. And the 1 turnover for the Owls, that was huge, Chris, the William Hampton interception.
Well, that was everything in the game because really both of the running backs have been very effective in running the football and keeping this a time of possession game. At 21-10, if the Calgary Stampeders score the next touchdown, making it 28-10, Montreal is in trouble because they're not a deep ball vertical team. They're a team that plays time possession, ball control type of situation, and I don't know if they can come back from that type of deficit. I'm looking for Montreal to do something significant with their first 2 series to either get a field goal or touchdown, but just to shorten that disparity of points because they're not a come-from-behind team. They're a grinding team. So this is a situation where they can't grind. They have to make some big plays, James.
Yeah, you always like to say the Alouettes either win by 7 or they lose by 7. Right now they are down by 11 at the break. Kelvin Anderson had a pretty big first half for the Calgary Stampeders, but Swift Burch would run them down on this one. Calgary leads, second half coming up.
Stadium, but I don't think the Alouettes exactly like what they saw in the first half. Michael Whalen down on the sidelines with their head coach, Charlie Taft.
What about Henry Burris? He seemed to move the ball very well in the first half. What adjustments have you made in the half to stop him?
Well, we just got to play better. We can't, as I said, can't design or worry about Burris. We got to play our defense better. We got to get off blocks better. It always comes back to fundamentals. We got to be a better fundamental football team this half if we're going to have a chance to win the game. And we gave them a free one, but our offense came back and we got points right before the half. That was big.
All right, Charlie, thank you for stopping by. Good luck in the second half.
All right, Mike.
And the opening kickoff for this second half, Alouettes knocking it down, taken by Kelvin Anderson. Has a good return on the go up to his 30-yard line and across, where the Stampeders and Henry Burris will go to work. And Matt, something you talked about is one of the keys, running the football. And I've found it very interesting how the Alouette defense has not been able to really pressure this guy.
Well, it's because they've established a line of scrimmage and able to develop the running game. And Kelvin Anderson is having a good night, and it's kind of taking the pressure off of the offensive line in order so they don't have to pass protect the whole time. You got George Cortez there just working on the sidelines, and his plan is just unfolding beautifully here with a 21-10 halftime lead.
And so they'll see if they can build on that now, up by 11, starting from the 31. And a handoff to Anderson. Talk about keeping it on the ground. That's what the Stampeders do. Their best rushing evening by far this season in week 4. Jason Richards in on the tackle. Had Philly on as well as Anderson heads back to that huddle. It'll be second down and about 6 yards to go.
The old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, and they established a running game last week against Edmonton, and they had a great job of doing it in the first half here. Start the second half off with the same dose of medicine.
This time they pass in second and long. It is completed. And it's Travis Moore with the reception up at first down yardage. The sticks should move on that. It's up to about the 44-yard line. Travis Moore, one of the touchdowns in the first half for Calgary. The reception after a long one, a 41-yarder to Alan Pitts, and then a 9-yarder. A couple of catches for 25 yards. And yeah, that touchdown, he had a big day against the Edmonton Eskimos last week. And he had a 65-yard touchdown catch. 6 catches in all for 128 yards last week. Play action fake this time as Burris throws to his left. It's dropped. Marcus Dowdell. Now, he had some distraction there as it falls down incomplete, but that was a bit of a problem for him last week against Edmonton.
Yeah, it really was. You know, it's a good break on the ball, too, by Mr. Washington. He breaks on the ball and clouds things up for Dowdell right there. Just kind of gives him something to think about. I'm in the area. You know, I'm coming and knock your head off. And he doesn't, and he loses his concentration and should have had that one. Good hustle on defense and good solid throw. Got to have that one.
Another obvious passing situation for the Stamps. That's what Burris does. Over the middle and complete. Alan Pitts. They missed him. They didn't bring him down, and he's still going to the 45. A big first down Calgary to start this second half. 22 yards, and a couple of Alouettes had a shot to bring him down after the catch.
He got small there in a hurry, didn't he? Just kind of, everybody's around him. He just kind of weaseled his way out of that tackle there and just moved it around. It's just yaks. We call them yards after the catch. Here he is getting struck by 2 people. They kind of knock each other off of him. He finds his way. Cummings does a great job of laying off right there. Could have gotten called for a clip. Made a good decision. Heads the play. Alan Pitts does the rest.
81 yards to add to his total as he slowly pursues the all-time record for receiving yardage. Kelvin Anderson, short gain up the middle, but 3 yards.
Allen is just doing a super job of giving this young quarterback something to throw to and then making it happen, showing his true colors of the all-pro material. Coach going over there talking to head coach George Cortez, talking to Wally Buono, saying, hey, we got to go on tonight. We'll just keep mixing her up, keeping that defense in a rocking chair. They don't know where we're going, the run or the pass.
They've been fooling the Alouettes so far. Burris complete. Guess who? Pitts again, another Calgary first down.
George Cortez just having fun over there calling plays. Here you go with Alan Pitts. He's right here on the inside. He comes off the ball. He's just going to run a clearing route, snap right up underneath the coverage, right there. Makes an easy, high percentage pitch and catch for the quarterback. Moving the chains very consistently, the Calgary Stampeders are right now.
A lot of catches in that great career, 104 of them for touchdowns, including one last week. It helped him get back into it against Calgary. Burris throws incomplete. And he was looking for Travis Moore close to the end zone.
1st and 10, a great play for play action. Great play action fake here. Good call. Been established to run on first down. Just want to see how good fake this is? Fakes our cameraman right out, and that's difficult to do because they're the best in the business.
You got it.
Right here. Shows the defense the ball, pulls it out. He's got the corner. Continue to run so he doesn't get hit when he pulls up. Does a smart thing and throws it where nobody can get it. Has another opportunity, another kick at the can here.
On second down and out of the shotgun again, Burris. Complete again. And another Stampeder first down. Great way to establish momentum on this drive to start the second half.
You got to be kidding me. This guy is his first CFL start. Well, there's a lot of quarterbacks. There's a lot of people who like to do this well at anything they're doing for the first time out there. Kid is showing some poise, throwing some strikes, showing a lot of versatility, mixing it up. High percentage throws, difficult throws, long ball, play action, establish a running game. Calgary offense has got it going right now.
Wally didn't seem to be concerned, Wally Buono, about all that prep time for Burris, maybe getting into his head a little bit. Said he had great practices all week, and that is certainly shown in this game here tonight. They're knocking on the door again. And Burris is on the move, buys himself some time for the end zone, and there was a flag on the play. Harold Nash on the coverage. And pleading his case. And the ball was dropped anyway with a flag down.
Forward pass interference. Montreal 0-0. First down.
Harold Nash in his first game this year. And a costly call against the Alouettes.
He's not too pleased with that either. His Coach Taff on the sideline looking on. He said, disciplined, fundamental football is what's going to win this game for us. And then he called in a situation, a 2nd and long, where you almost forced the opposition in a field goal situation. You'd give them 1st and 10 on the 1-yard line, a chance to punch it in and increase their lead.
5 first downs in this drive for Calgary, and this one by the penalty. It'll be 1st and goal and a chance to go up big time. Handing it off, Anderson high, and a touchdown Calgary. Did he ever get some airtime on that one?
Boy, he went upward and skyward. Looks like he was leaping over tall buildings there. That was beautiful. Had a couple guys in front of him. Just smash mouth football here, ladies and gentlemen. Dwayne Ford and Mr. Biggs leading the way for him. Kelvin Anderson getting tall. Big guys rooting him out.
But he's still down on the field.
He got a cramp from overuse. He's not used to all this action.
Pat Clayton, the training staff on. And yeah, it does look like a cramp in that left leg.
That's a good sign for the Stampeders. It's just a cramp. And of course, Coach Cortez is just beside himself right now, getting congratulations from Mike Roach there. Everybody's telling him how great he is right now. It's tremendous play calling, a great drive. Here we see it again. Great surge by the offensive line, up and over by Kelvin Anderson. Just a great play.
And now running off.
Kelvin showing the Alouettes as he runs through his bench right across the face of the Montreal team that he's fine, says, I'll be back for some more of that.
So Mark McLaughlin will attempt the convert to put the Calgary Stampeders up by 18 points. Indeed, it's good. What a way to start the half for this guy and his Stamps. 28-10 Calgary in the 3rd quarter on CFL Live.
Why everybody's so excited on the Calgary bench? Take a look at this. 10 plays, 79 yards, ate up 5 minutes and 30 seconds on that clock and capped it off with a major to go up 18 on Montreal here in their own backyard.
And lots of running plays in that as well. Which is the better running team right now in the Canadian Football League? I'll tell you tonight, it's not Montreal. Big return by Thomas Haskins. And that's what the Alouettes do need to get back into this game down to the Calgary 50-yard line.
Guys, the Ticats are just plain destroying the Eskimos. Danny McManus, sharp tonight. Steps up, looks for Trevor Shaw. Nice coverage. Trevor Shaw is going to get in for the touchdown. Eskies turned it over. They've added a field goal, 41-8, 3rd quarter.
Wow. How about that, Matt? I know you had thought before Edmonton can fall flat in Hamilton. And look at the time of possession for Calgary. They're the ball control offense in this night. Alouettes are used to that role. Trying to get it going. A nice acrobatic catch there by Jock Climby, close to a Montreal 1st down.
I threw Jock Climby his first pass he ever caught in the Canadian Football League when I was playing for Toronto. And I tell you what, this kid right here, Jock Climby, I told him, I said, you take your work ethic, your attitude, your abilities, you can play a long, long time. And he's doing it, folks. He's showing you that he's an all-pro and he's deserving of being out there every night.
Last year, he worked overtime, commuting from Ottawa so he could finish up his law degree. Now a lawyer and a football player, and a good one, and so's this guy, Mike Pringle. He gets up across. But his coach at the time, Dave Ritchie, said, Matt, that he didn't mind if he did this pursuing the law degree, obviously, as long as it didn't affect his play on the field. He was happy with that, and
He's kind of taking his work ethic and, you know, and what it takes, you know, to become a lawyer, and his practice and his studying habits, and he's kind of parlayed them over to his football game. It's worked for him. 3 catches for 42 yards in the first half and already contributing here in the second.
Originally drafted by the Argos, had a couple of stints there and also played in Ottawa. On the option to Pringle. Give him some room and he'll kill you. And a big play for the Alouettes as they get a first down at the 25.
Great job out front of blocking here. Of course, when you run the option, this is exactly what you need. Coach Taft likes the fundamental football. Right here, you got John Climby. He's going to working hard here, and you got Michael Souls working out right in the flat. You look at Jock working. Michael kicks him out. Jock takes the inside guy, and you got a beautiful lane there for Mr. Pringle to run up through and exploit.
First and 10 for the Alouettes, handing off again. They haven't abandoned the running game, and it's Pringle. Another good, solid gain down close to the Calgary 15.
Oh. How about being on the receiving end of that? You, Mr. Fears, number 12 on the football field there. And just delivers a blow on Greg Fears. Right here. Impact. Oh! That hurts.
He's hurt a few in his career.
You say he put 2 out in one play?
He put 2 out in the game here in Montreal last year. Greg Knox, Dave Ben Bellingham. And carrying the football again is Pringle, this time shorter yards.
Well, yeah, then you run into somebody like Alondra and you don't look so powerful. Alondra Johnson, where's he from? West Texas,
I believe.
And you know what they are in West Texas? They're the Buffaloes.
You know a lot about Texas football. Home state for you.
Yeah, Frears, he's adjusting his helmet from 2 plays ago. He's going, oh my goodness, he's touching his helmet going, he's checking his whole card there. Chin strap's still there, teeth are still there. Yeah, I'm okay.
Great drive for the Alouettes now. End zone toss, it's picked off. Greg Frears, speak of the devil, he's got it. And he'll just run around a little bit. And that is another costly turnover for Anthony Calvillo and the Montreal Alouettes. The other one led to a Calgary touchdown. This one nullifies any chance for Montreal to get to the end zone. They're trailing by 18.
You got Climby here. He's going over. He's going to push his defender and then go to the post. Does a great job of getting open on a one-to-one situation. But Anthony Calvillo can't see Mr. Fears, and he comes over and makes a great interception, timely one. And you look at him right here. He kind of gets hidden right there behind the goalpost and has an easy pick. He couldn't believe that the ball was actually coming his way.
And so the Stamps take over. The Alouettes come up with nothing, and they're going to work along the ground again, and why not? It'll kill some clock, and they're up by 18 points, and what must Charlie Taft be thinking about this? 3-0 heading into the game. Hasn't tasted defeat as a CFL head coach yet, but they got an awful hill to climb right now to avoid it. He stands there with Anthony Calvillo.
Long way to go. He knows if his team can just eliminate those penalties, eliminate those mistakes, get back to fundamental football, they'll be in this game.
Well, Burris throws this time, and it is complete to Vince Danielson. Shy of a first down, it would appear, at about the 29-yard line.
Yeah, have we talked about Alfred Payton except for one sack when Mr. Burris stumbled? You look at Alfred, he's right here on the line of scrimmage, folks, and you watch what Mr. Meyer does to him here. He just latches up on him, gives his quarterback enough time to actually deliver the rock in time, in fluid, being very fluid with his throws, high percentage throws. Credit George Cortez just as much as the offensive line for doing a super job of play calling, giving his quarterback some chance.
Well, the Stampeders are going for it on 3rd down and inches. They seem like a gutsy call, being up by 28, not wanting to jeopardize anything, but it was so close. I guess it's academic when it's just inches away when you have confidence in your lineman.
Oh, yeah, going around shaking everybody's hand on the sidelines. I knew we had it. Yeah, that was a gimme. That's a critical call right there.
You like it?
Worked against him.
It's easier to like now.
Well, you like it when you're up 28-10. You know, if you're down, you're almost. It's a very sticky situation. But gutsy call worked out for him.
Still with that 18-point lead, and what it really allows them to do is kill off more time. Burris is down in the sack for only the second time in this game. And it is number 9 for the Montreal Alouettes taking him down. Edward Thomas, the new linebacker, joined the team last week.
Yeah, it's Mr. Henry just coming off the, he's just coming off the side here. It's called a nickel package. In second and long situations, they put in extra people, and Edward Thomas comes off the edge and does a super job of getting the quarterback's face.
So 2nd and 16 for Burris and the Stamps. Out of the shotgun again. Steps up. Has some room, a lot of it. Henry Burris can run with that football, and he gets up across the 46, and I believe he has got another Calgary first down. It'll be very close.
I just illustrated a play up front with Myers and Payton, and actually looked like Payton got the best of Myers, but he did enough job, or a good enough job, just to give his quarterback time. But then again, he take another look at it, and he got him battling here off the edge, and Myers going at it. Elford throwing punches. Myers throwing his leg out there, just stopping Elford's penetration just enough so that Burris can find that hole and get a possible first down.
The sticks come out, and it looks to be just inches shy. So what, another third down gamble? They did it before, and it was fine, and this one looks to be even less than the other one.
That's a good battle going on there. Got a 9th-year man and a 5-year man in the league going at it off the edge there, just getting after it. That's nasty football at its finest right there.
Alfred Payton last week, as we see this measurement. Alfred Payton last week had 5 sacks against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He's been kept a little more silent this time. He had a couple. He was a holy terror for the Argos back in week 1. And it's just incredible pace he's on with 9 sacks so far this season.
Yeah, it's an ungodly pace there. It's unthinkable about how many he can actually accumulate.
Oh, a big dive and a guess by Rashawn Giddings with a snap of the football, trying to time it out, and I guess the gamble didn't pay off, but why not give it a shot, right?
Cheater!
But what happened if he just matched up with the snap of the ball? Then he might have a chance of stopping it.
Well, the quarterback's not going to stand there upright either to be hit. He's going to get down low, so he can be hard-pressed to get a
Outside, Montreal, number 50, first down.
This might be the most obvious offside in the history of the Canadian
He's
football
leaping
league.
from this point on, and it's amazing. Superman. You thought Kelvin Anderson had hops. Look at this guy get up.
I think if they're in a short yardage situation in offense, they might give him the ball. See what he can do from 1 yard out. That was a good jump. To no avail, though, with the penalty. The sticks move again. First down, Calgary on the move and with a big lead. And this time keeping it on the ground to Calvin Anderson. Dropped for a loss by another product of Temple. Swift Birch taking him down for a loss on the play. Talk about a couple of Temple players. I haven't seen Swift Birch have any conversations with Henry Burris. I think he graduated before Burris did, but we can talk about the Owls.
A couple of Owls there getting after it, contributing, making the alma mater proud. Right. You know, we haven't heard much from Swift Birch tonight, but he comes up big there. It forces a second and long situation.
2nd and 13 to be exact. That clock is ticking down here in this third quarter, and Burris will throw again over the middle. Danielson again. And a first down, Calgary. Boy, at this point in time, it doesn't look like Flutie or Garcia or Dickinson could do the job any better than what Burris has been doing, and Danielson with the catch there.
Been fairly quiet tonight, you know, but you got to be impressed with this receiving core of Calgary. Seems year after year after year, they come up with quality receivers like this. Vince Danielson, George Cortez, you can't say enough about the guy, the way he's putting this offense together now. 41 points last week, 28 here against the Alouettes on the road, and he's got a young quarterback, his second teamer, first start tonight playing like a veteran.
Well, the time of possession we showed you before is already overwhelming for Calgary, and that just continues to build. This has been great use of the clock by the Stampeders, protecting their lead, not even giving the Alouettes a chance. Of course, they had a third down gamble before that kept things going, and that time on first down, it doesn't, but we talked about before. I mean, it's the Calgary offense that looks like it's got the brilliance tonight.
Watch them go through some of the calls here on the sideline. This is a beautiful part of offense that a lot of people don't get to realize or enjoy. I mean, you get to get some funky calls on the sidelines and some movements and hand movements, and That's a lot to be taken in there by a young quarterback with only 20 seconds in between each play, and to master those signals being sent in. To go out there, read the defense, and execute like he's been doing tonight is remarkable.
They mixed it up well. Burris throwing again, completing again. Allen Pitts with the ball. And another Calgary first down across the Montreal 35.
Lester Smith thought he had a beat on that one because it was a tentative throw by Henry Burris. He didn't put the zip on it that we usually see. You see him just kind of aim the ball here. It just beats Lester Smith coming in there and move the chains. Positive play. Lester's thinking, man, if I would have just broke just a little bit quicker on that. Pitts, he loves this area down here, getting close to the red zone. This is where he likes to come up big.
No time left in the clock in this third quarter. Just all Calgary. As he's taken down, Burris is by Rashawn Giddings, and that gets the crowd here at Molson Stadium fired up a little bit, but they don't have a lot to cheer about now, because in time of possession, it has been all Stampeders taking that ball from their 25 and moving it right along at Alouette territory, up by 18 at the end of 3. That's a very good home team, too. That's since 96 and 97, they played at Olympic Stadium the last 2 years here, and I know they love to play at this facility. What a nice night. You get the nice view from the mountain here at McGill University. Great view of the city. A much better place to play football, I'd say.
Yeah, we were out there somewhere last night. Don't know where, but we were out there enjoying Montreal.
I'll tell you about it later. Here on the screen, they set it up, and Kelvin Anderson takes it, and he gets it down to the 26 on that second and long. It'll be shy of a first down.
You know, the young quarterback is executing at a high efficiency rate right now. Credit, I can't say this enough, the calling of the plays right now to give that kid an opportunity to have success. Why force the situation and push it down the field there when it's not there? He checks down and throws underneath and keeps his team in a situation to put 3 more points up on the board. Just a tremendous job of communication by this man, George Cortez, and the young quarterback, Mr. Henry Burris from Temple University.
And Mark McLaughlin, 2 for 2 tonight. Trying to add to that total. He missed his first 2 of the season, and then he has hit 10 in a row since then. He gets this one away from the 35. And he's got lost the distance, and it's good, and it is now a 21-point lead. 3 converted touchdowns. Henry Burris, and the Stamps are leading it in the 4th on CFL. Castrol GTX, drive hard. Talk about driving hard, Matt, and controlling the clock. Look at the time of possession for Calgary.
That's incredible right there. 29 minutes, almost 30 minutes of football, and just over 3 quarters of play. The thing that, why they're able to do this, right here, 130 yards rushing, establish the line of scrimmage, 24 first downs. That's just great numbers for an entire game, let alone 3 quarters of football.
Well, Tracy Ham, not exactly sure when he'll be ready to come back. A hip pointer he suffered a couple of weeks ago in Hamilton. Anthony Calvillo has done a wonderful job up until this game. He was 11 for 15 filling in for him in Hamilton. 22 of 30 last week and a couple of touchdown passes against Winnipeg. And tonight moving the ball very well, Matt.
Yeah, Rod, he had 2 interceptions. One that was going in for a touchdown, and the other one cost him a touchdown. There's a 14-point swing there. And otherwise, it'd be 31-28 right now.
2 very big turnovers, and they're going to have to start deep. Unless Haskins can get out of this jam, he doesn't. He's finally taken down. And that is Aldi Henry. And it is Tracy Ham coming on to play now. We had asked Charlie Taft yesterday if there was any situation he could imagine, other than a Calvillo injury, where Ham would come in, and Charlie basically said Anthony Calvillo would have to be pretty bad. I don't know if this is so much an indictment on Calvillo's play or to shake up the team, but here comes Tracy.
I don't know. Two passes. Otherwise, Anthony Calvillo's had a tremendous football game tonight. Yeah, those are costly throws. Tracy Ham is injured. His hip is still injured. It's not his knee. He told me he's fine. Now he comes in the game 21 points down with just under 14 minutes to go. I'm not sure I agree with this call.
And look at the numbers for Calvillo. With the exception of those 2 picks, not bad at all. Not a lot of production. Nothing to show for it. What a catch. Good climbing. First play by Ham, and Ham takes some punishment on the play.
This is what I'm concerned with. You're down 21. Yeah, you can come back for 21 points easily in the 4th quarter. But then you're just looking at, you know, the situation here. Tracy, play action fake. Climby coming right here off the edge right here. Dragging, trying to get back to Tracy's face. Tracy stands in there, knows he's going to get hit by Johnson. And he delivers a strike. Jack Climby makes it look easy.
That time he delivers, but it is past the intended receiver, overthrown. Flags down on the play, however.
Tracy's certainly going to spark this offense here, regardless of how well Anthony was playing or how well he's been playing the last 2 games. But
there's no infraction on the play. The ball was uncatchable.
Some interference on it, but the ham throw, they say, is just too far, and much to the displeasure of the fans here in Montreal.
But speaking with Tracy, Rod, before the game, he's telling me, hey, if I've learned one thing, I'm in this for the long haul. And here he is putting the rest of the season on the line by playing injured.
The problem is the hip now. The problem was the knee in the offseason. He had surgery, thought of retirement. That pass knocked away by the rookie Kevin Johnson, and it falls incomplete. And the Alouettes will have to punt.
Tracy also told me that, you know, he was rusty. He just didn't have the reps. And, you know, it wasn't that he was hurt in week 1 and why he looked so rusty. He just didn't have the reps. And here he's asked to spark a club that's down 21 points, playing injured. And that's certainly, you know, Coach Tow's call. Hopefully shake up this offense and maybe send a message to Anthony Calvillo. But I'm not sure if I agree with that message.
It's remarkable to say that there's only been 4 punts in this game so far. Here comes number 5. Terry Baker standing inside his 15. That's another pretty good one away as it gets down to the Calgary 42. Marvin Coleman on the return, and he is taken down there. 42-yard kick for Baker. Calgary has the ball, and a huge lead, up by 21 on CFL Live.
Football club. I'm not sure, folks, I don't know how you feel about it at home, but I question it because you got a veteran quarterback who need for the long haul that is out there playing injured now, 21 points down, trying to spark his club for a comeback. Look at the big picture. Get your quarterback healthy, get him in there so he can be productive through the mid part of the season and certainly at the end of the season, as opposed to risking further injury down 21 when Anthony Calvillo wasn't playing poorly in the first place. 2 throws that cost him dearly, but I don't know. I don't believe in the message that he's trying to send to him right now.
I can remember a situation, you can talk about it more in a moment, where you had some injuries to deal with, and I'm sure you wanted to play, particularly with the Argos back in the early 90s. First of all, it's 2nd and 8. After the short gain by Anderson, that one falls incomplete. So the Stampeders will be punting. But back in the game story so far, it's quite a story for the Calgary Stampeders and Burris.
It's just, you know, there's misleading numbers here. You know, these aren't. These are fantastic numbers by a young quarterback making his first start. This is the most important thing right up here, getting her done. Right here, these are misleading. 124 yards passing for Anthony Calvillo. That's very misleading, ladies and gentlemen, because he's playing some good football. 2 plays caught him. But, Rod, there's some situations where this may sound funny, but I did not want to play because I knew I was hurt and I'd further injure myself and risk possibly playing in the postseason. And I was put in those situations, and that's exactly what happened. I got hurt even worse, and I missed the postseason playoffs. And then I was tagged with being the glass quarterback. And, you know, it's an unfair situation.
Thomas Haskins on the return, so the Alouettes have the ball. Tracy Ham, the quarterback, down big time, 31-10. Unbeaten, and at home tonight. That is coming up next after this one here. It's got 11:32 on the board in the 4th quarter. The Alouettes down by a ton, 31-10. Ham in for a second drive and gives it to Pringle this time. Mike Pringle, a good gain up across the 40 to the 46-yard line.
This is normally the time of game that Montreal is able to continue to pound out the running game and put teams away. And now they find themselves in a situation where they're just trying to sustain drives and creates something offensively in a very unfamiliar territory for him right now.
I'm sure Calgary will let them run the football all they want now as it kills clock in the fourth quarter. They pass that time. Jock Climbey, another one from Tracy Ham. He gets a first down, close to midfield. Something you were talking about before, though, in that situation. How do you temper the anxiety or the desire to come back and play even though you are hurting, and also not wanting to get hurt even more?
Well, it's the monitoring of the injury. You know, there's times when you're injured and you play. I mean, you just do it. You see it throughout everybody's career. But there are times when you know that if they ask you to play, it's going to be detrimental to the future of the team and your health, and it's going to be critical in postseason play. And I hate to see Tracy Ham in that situation right now so early in the season, because I'd like to see him healthy towards the end of the year. I'd like to see AC in right now, getting some good first down, trying to work into some rhythm, because you're going to need him later on in the year too.
Pass incomplete for Chris Armstrong, who was slow to get up. He's up back in the huddle now.
Turf gets awfully hard out there, falling all different funny ways, and looks like he just kind of got caught up there, and it's like playing on concrete.
2nd and 10 for the Alouettes. Ham steps up. He's got a completion. Pringle catching the football short of first down across the Calgary 50, but a situation I am sure where they will be going for it on 3rd down. Not much of a choice. Down by 3 touchdowns.
It's a good look at Tracy Ham dropping back in the pocket. And for your younger quarterbacks, you know, Tracy gets away with this. It's kind of his style, but you can see the ball right down low in that carriage. And he doesn't have it up, by his shoulder pads, and doesn't have 2 hands on it. He almost got that ball knocked out of his hands because he was holding it like a loaf of bread. And Tracy's been like that, and he's gotten away with that over the course of his career. But kids, secure that football and make sure that you have 2 hands on it the whole time and go back in the pocket.
There's a flag down on that play as it goes incomplete. Jack Kellogg in on the coverage of Jock Climbey and knocking it away. And that was a 3rd down play. A gamble, not much of a gamble, of course, as said, because they're down by so much. But it will move the sticks, though.
For 4, first down. Veteran move by Tracy, drawing him off sides, mixing up the count. You know, the guys get rhythmical out there. Anthony's been, using a different cadence out there, calling the play, going on 1, going on 2. Tracy comes out there, 3rd and short, mixes it up, draws him off sides.
So first down, Alouettes. Ham to throw again, has a man deep, knocked away. Good coverage by Kellogg again on Chris Armstrong.
Tremendous makeup speed there, tremendous makeup speed. You got Chris Armstrong lined up here on the inside, right here, coming from the inside. Kellogg is straight up in front of him. He's just going to run. They're just running a post and a wheel. Kellogg is beat actually here. The ball's hanging up. He does a great job of looking over the top of his shoulder, outside shoulder, and gets a hand on it. That's called recovery, and that's called being an athlete right there and making it happen. He ensures that he doesn't tip the ball forward. He tips it back. That's a big-time play by Mr. Kellogg.
But another penalty called against the Stampeders moves Montreal to the Calgary 30, first down. And it's completed to Pringle again. The second reception of the game and of this drive as it gets to the down to the 25-yard line. So Ham has them on the move with the help of some penalties as well. 9 minutes and counting on the clock. A lot to make up for on the scoreboard for Montreal. Ham throws.
Great effort by Becca.
And there's some life in this stadium here in Montreal, and we haven't heard much noise, understandably, especially in the second half, but that gets them going. Nice effort, second and third efforts there by Ben Cahoon to hit Pater.
I don't care if you're getting beat by 50 points. You see an effort like that, you're going to get up off your seat and cheer.
Great effort.
The convert by Terry Baker, so it's down to 31-17 and 2 touchdowns they're behind.
Tracy just being patient, kind of moves the pocket a little bit, throws it out in the flat, lets Mr. Cahoon do the rest. Right here, over the top. He knows he's going to have to cut back right here. Breaks the tackle, spins. Secure the rock there, Mr. Cahoon. We saw it happen a couple weeks ago in Hamilton. You never know. Put that ball away. And as Brian Kelly used to tell me, act like you've been there before. He certainly has.
One of the products of BYU on this team, Neil Fort being the other one, but Cahoon, even though didn't live in Canada really, born as a Canadian and hence non-import status.
Yeah, Tracy feels good about this. You know, hey, I'm getting some playing time here. I've got my team rolling here. Hey, we just might have a chance. 8.5 minutes to go. Anthony's over going, hey, get her going. You know, I admit I made a couple mistakes, but hey, we can overcome this.
4 catches, 58 yards, and that touchdown in his second year. Getting a little bit more action tonight.
And Corby Jones over there, the third-team quarterback, telling Ben how good he is, and Ben's going, no big deal. Do it all the time. Especially do all the time at BYU. Jock's going, yeah, look like me. They're having a good time. They're in this thing, 8.5 to go.
Well, we have seen leads bigger than this evaporate in less time. Well, it is certainly possible here, and I think fans can feel that too. A little more life is in the crowd right now as they were setting up for the onside kick.
Caught Calgary off guard, and Wally Buono did the smart thing. Instead of taking a chance of having the turnover there and not being prepared, he called timeout so he could pull his guys over the sidelines and have a little chit-chat, make sure they're on the same page.
Maybe they thought that they wouldn't be trying the onside so soon with still over 8 minutes to go. Maybe they thought that was for a little bit later. Ready for it now. The scoring drive led by Tracy Ham. He's got the Alouettes to within 14 points, and there it is. 8 plays, 74 yards in just under 3 minutes. Ben Cahoon taking it 24 yards and eluding William Hampton. Also Greg Frères to get into the end zone for the Alouettes. They're set up now for the short kick. And now they go back into a regular kickoff formation and kick it deep. So they try fooling the stands that way, and it looks like they do. Kelvin Anderson has to take it back at his 2. And his return gets up across the 20, but first they show short kick. Stamps make some adjustments, and then they go ahead and kick it normally, and they've got better field position. Calgary hem back to the 20.
Some ingenuity there by Coach Charlie Taff and his staff. Fans certainly appreciate it. It's fun to watch. They had the onsides going, then everybody runs over here, and then they think the onside's happening over here, and boom, he kicks it deep over the top of everybody. Actually, Kelvin Anderson had a nice little return on it, but exciting football.
Well, the Alouettes have got a good defense heading into this game. Need to hold strong now with the clock down to 8:20 here in the scoreboard at Molson Stadium and counting. Burris, you know Calgary's going to want to keep it along the ground and eat up that clock, and they do. They hand off to Kelvin Anderson.
This is when a young quarterback like Henry Burris, yes, he's played remarkably well in the first 3 quarters. Last 8 minutes trying to seal the deal and get a victory for your team. Your first as a starter. This is where he's going to learn a lot about the game and grow and mature as a young quarterback.
And as you said before, it looks like he already has in so many ways. Sitting back as a 3rd stringer in behind Dave Dickinson and Jeff Garcia last year. Swift Birch. And a 2nd and 5. Defense must hold. Burris with time and a completion and a Calgary first down to the 40. Vince Danielson, number 88.
Just incredible play by the offensive line. Just giving the young man an opportunity to throw those high percentage completion throws. Rocco Romano just doing a super job of just driving right here. Rocco doing a great job on Mr. Birch. Sets up, he's in control, good punch, fights back. Got help from Mr. Kim. Says, hey, you ain't going anywhere. That's a young quarterback. I'm giving him some help he needs, and we're winning this football game.
1st and 10, Calgary on the 40. Clock's under 7 minutes now. A big first down for the Stamps. And a handoff to Calvin Anderson. Lots of room. Outside and more. First down, still more. Calvin Anderson could go. Finally taken out of bounds. Well inside Alouette territory, inside the 30.
Hey, that was unbelievable, Rod. He showed all kinds of bursts there. Made people miss, got out and around, showed some great speed down the sidelines.
Did we say that Calgary had struggled with the running game heading into this game?
This is regular speed, folks. Watch how fast he moves here. And right here, he's almost at a complete standstill, and boom, like shot out of a cannon and almost went the distance.
Well, what's just as damaging as the potential for more points to Calgary is the fact that they are taking valuable ticks off the clock that Montreal could certainly use. 1st and 10, Calgary, the Alouettes, 31, running again. Anderson again, good gain again, but 6 yards. Be 2nd and 4. Clock continues to move.
George is having some kind of fun tonight. Got to be approaching upwards of 30 first downs. And then you got Calvin Anderson, who's enjoying his 7th career 100-yard game here tonight. Having a great night. Look at those numbers.
He's having a Mike Pringle type of night.
He certainly is. They turned the tide, turned the tables.
Working out of the shotgun on a 2nd and 4. Burris throws. Complete. Touchdown, Stampeders. But there is a flag down.
Well, last week we saw Don Matthews and his defensive unit pressure the young quarterback in a lot of situations. And what did he do? He looked inside to his slots. He looked.
7, penalties decline. Touchdown's good.
Alfred Payton with the offside for the 2nd touchdown of the game for Travis Moore.
Alfred Payton comes here from the right. Burris knows that, there's a blitz situation. He's been here before, and he throws a strike to Mr. Moore for an easy score. We saw it last week. He did it twice. He put the knife in Edmonton, and he's putting the knife in Montreal here this evening.
25-yard TD catch from Henry Burris. He's had himself quite a night. Travis Moore, 3 touchdowns now in the season. And the fans starting to file out, as you can see. And they look into the end zone and the new seats that were added for this game. The convert is good. The Alouettes got within 2 touchdowns. Now the lead is back to 3 from Travis Moore. A couple of touchdowns now to help put this thing away with 5:33 to go. And a big lead again, 21 points for Calgary.
Travis Moore, the beneficiary of, of great play by the offensive line, great play calling by George Cortez. We've harped out on all night. Wally Blount's got to be pleased.
Maybe
just exceptional offensive play.
Maybe a little more comfortable here in his native city of Montreal. Wally Blount back for a visit, and it's been a pretty good visit this time. It hasn't been for a couple of years. From a football standpoint, Thomas Haskins, a good kick return up close to the 50-yard line for the Alouettes.
Yeah, you've got Alfred Payton and Thomas coming off the edge. These 2 people right here, it doesn't look like it's offsides, but they probably line up in the neutral zone right there. Alfred actually comes unabated to the quarterback, and he's got a free shot. Burris knows he's coming, and fires a strike over the middle to Travis Moore for the easy score. Oh, and he feels good about that. He said, yeah, I did that twice last week.
They call him Smiling Hank, and I think he's got something to smile about tonight, don't you think? A little swing pass to Pringle. Busts a tackle, but can't get away from Ray Jacobs. Is taken down for essentially no gain, maybe a slight loss in the play.
Getting back to Burris there, he called me sir before the game. Oh, boy, I don't know if I slap him or shake his hand. A good kid. He's a yes sir, no sir type of kid, and tremendous job for him to, the job that he's doing here tonight.
I thought you were going to insist that I call you sir.
No.
Tracy Ham deep over the middle. What a nice catch there. Down to the 30. Beautifully done by Tyree Davis. And a big first down for the Alouettes.
Takes a lot of guts, because Tracy hangs this ball up there a little bit, throws it in the only spot it can be thrown, drops it right in there. He knows he's going to get hit, and he concentrates and just hangs on to the football.
Tyree Davis, a gain of 31 yards on that play.
Tyree Davis.
Clock ticking down to 4 minutes. Ham standing at the Calgary 40, intercepted. Intercepted by Jack Kellogg. The Stampeders have picked off 3 Alouette passes. They've all been big. This one not as significant as the other 2, but still snuffing out any chance of more points on the board for Montreal. Kellogg with the pick.
It's a great job of hanging back, baiting the quarterback to throw in the seam, and he just undercuts it. Tracy's delivering the ball. He's just going to undercut this here and step right in front of the throwing lane. He's got an easy pickoff. Just kind of seal the deal here tonight. It's all working in Calgary's favor this evening. Play calling, offense, defense, running game.
You know, heading into this game, Montreal, look at the plus minus and turnovers, was +8, second in the CFL. Whereas Calgary was down there at only +1. But turnovers the story for the Stampeders tonight. And as we mentioned before, usually the Alouettes make you pay with the interceptions. They've been victims tonight.
They sure have. And would never thought I'd see this evening, but this young kid has performed extremely well.
Henry Burris, hands off. They keep it along the ground. And a new running back in there for Calgary, number 14, Rock Preston. And he's a big part of the story. Henry Burris, 300 yards offense, a couple of touchdown passes, Matt.
I just look at this number here down on the bottom, and this is usually reversed, folks. Right here, Calgary, 185 yards rushing. Montreal, 85 yards rushing. That's an incredible stat right there.
It is.
George Cootie does a great job for us with those, and he's just throwing them up there for us. And, you know, he informs us, and he informs you in the process. That's a turnaround. That's turning the tables, and Calgary's done an exceptional job.
And they're still running that football with Rock Preston in there for Kelvin Anderson, and he gets up to the Calgary 40. 3-minute warning in effect here at Molson Stadium. Calgary looking comfy, 38-17 over Montreal. Backup was so effective. Dickinson nursing that sore shoulder, and now I'm sure the Stamps feel that he can take some time to let that thing heal because of the job done by Henry Burris. Just think of the Burris last year, a third stringer to Jeff Garcia and Dave Dickinson. Makes you think of good quarterbacks in the Edmonton Eskimos back in 1987, where there was a guy, a third stringer to Damon Allen and Matt Dunnigan. I believe his name was Tracy Ham.
T-Ham from Georgia Southern.
Imagine that. How's that for a line of quarterbacks?
Well, Hugh Campbell still does a good job over there doing that. Just lining them up. So does Wally Buono. Amazing how he keeps his talent level up like he does. Receiving core, offensive line, in the backfield, behind the center, on defense. Just does an incredible job. And you know who's over there helping him out? Roy Shivers.
Wally Buono, the only team they didn't beat last year was Montreal. His former team, one he played for and won a couple of Grey Cups with back in the 1970s. And yeah, that is. I mean, the job he's done in the 90s with the Calgary Stampeders.
And Roy Shivers is a big part of that, continually bringing in the talent for them. One of the best in the business in any league of finding talent, getting it there, and landing on the football field.
Rock Preston on the carry, but Wally Buono, born in Italy, and at age 3 moved to Montreal. Played his football with the Alouettes. He was a punter. He was a linebacker with Montreal. Some great years playing under Marv Levy. Won Grey Cups in 74 and 77, and he said, I asked him about a single fond memory of football in Montreal, and he said it was for the introductions to the 1977 Grey Cup game. Gave him chills. Being there at the Olympic Stadium in Montreal when that place was a sellout, and those Alouettes went on to beat the Edmonton Eskimos just before their drive of 5 straight cups, 41-6 the final. Rock Preston, talk about a guy that gets to carry the rock. He's had that football quite a bit lately. And we talked earlier about what Wally Buono wanted and needed from his team, and I think he got it tonight, man.
He sure did. They had to control Pringle. They've held him to 82 yards. Had to give the ball to Anderson. That speaks for itself. He's had a great night, 7th rushing over 100 yards in a game. 7th time he's doing that. And eliminate bad quarters. you know, just incredible. They've 14-4 outscored him in the first and third quarters. Wally's done what he needed to do.
And right here in Montreal, the last time they won here, 1996, a flag in the play with Anderson on the carry, and they just whistled it dead. The last time they won here was 1996, and they pounded the Alouettes. Now, Montreal in its first year back, coming over from Baltimore, 62-22. But after that, in the 6 meetings between the Alouettes, the reborn Alouettes in Calgary, 6 meetings, and Montreal had won 4 of them. 4 of the last 5, I should actually say, after losing that first one at Olympic Stadium. But it's good news for him, the kind of performance he's got from his team tonight, because I'm sure with the comeback they needed against Edmonton last week and the loss to BC a couple of weeks ago, this is the kind of effort he wanted to see. And a smile, I think I saw on his face there. As we go back to live action here on a 2nd and long. And they just are content, understandably, to keep it on the ground. Another flag out.
I wonder if Wally's got his team staying in Montreal tonight. You know, being from Montreal, I had to get the 20 extra tickets to come to the game tonight for family and friends. And, you know, just wondering if, you know, the club is going to be able to enjoy this win here in Montreal, and he's going to be able to go eat some pasta with his relatives.
Of course, as a true Italian, says you haven't eaten pasta unless you've eaten it fresh. Something he has a habit of doing coming back home. His mother is still here. He still has a brother living in Montreal. And
well, knowing the Canadian Football League, they'll probably have an early flight out, wee hours in the morning, get back in, but it'll be an enjoyable one for him.
Calgary is a 5 a.m. flight, to be exact. As they punt it away, a rare punt of the night. There's Scott McKenzie, taken back by Winston October. Got some speed. He got a good block as he gets outside. Winston October, taken out of bounds across midfield. And he has shown that potential with that speed of being a good punt returner. A return of 47 after a punt of 42 yards, but too little too late. Well, Charlie Taft needed a few things to win this game, and he did not get them.
No, not at all. Balanced attack, 30 passes and only 15 rushes. That's not balanced. It's not typical Montreal football. Only 2 sacks, you know, on a young quarterback, thinking you get more there and pressuring him. Only 4 points in the first quarter, and that's, you know, used to a quick start. Just hasn't worked well for him tonight. Credit to Calgary for playing well.
New quarterback in for the Alouettes, Corby Jones. And he completes his first pass to Jock Climbing. They had another third-string quarterback, Stanley Jackson, who's out with a hamstring injury. So Jones, product of Missouri, gets a chance to get a little bit of action. And why not at this point? I guess give him some reps in a game that's already out of hand. And there are the other two.
Yeah, these two are just looking at each other going, what went wrong? You know, and the only thing they can do is look to the right and look down the sidelines and look at the Calgary Stampeders, and they just played a whale of a football game and took it to them tonight.
Well, Climbing once again on the receiving end of this one. He's taken down. But, you know, a trademark of the Alouettes since they've come back to Montreal is the fast start. But there's a certain thing about week 4 when they stall. In 97, they've always started 3-0 in these situations. The third straight year that they have, in 97, they lost their next 3, really cooled off. And then last year, they lost the next 2 straight after that 3-0 start.
That's under 2 different head coaches, too, now. And, you know, you can't put – it's tough to put a finger on that statistic right there. Figure that out. Start so well and then kind of go in a little lull.
Jones working out of the shotgun. Just knocked away. 11 seconds, I believe, are hard to figure this clock out. That could be 11, that could be 1.1 seconds. Excuse me, they don't have a decimal up. That's what messed me up. 1.1. We've got to be very precise here. With a 21-point lead. There you go. So you know what? From my angle, there's the little colon there. So it's 1.1 second to go. Percival Molson Stadium here on the campus of McGill University. Longtime home of the Redmen and for the last 2 years of the Alouettes. Not a happy home right now for Charlie Town.
Although it wasn't the close game we were anticipating, you know, what a great venue for football here in the Canadian Football League. Just a tremendous move, and I can see why things are turning around here for this club.
On the last play of the game, the ball falls down incomplete. And the Calgary Stampeders and Wally Buono have a victory here in Montreal. Both teams now with records of 3-1, and a handshake there for the two head coaches. Win number 118 in the great career of Wally Buono.
And based on what happens the rest of the evening and what was happening out in Hamilton tonight, you know, this puts them way out in front of Edmonton when they go down and card to Hamilton. And you look at the situation here. Now they're 3-1. They're 2 ahead of Edmonton, 3 ahead of Saskatchewan, and BC's playing now. And you know, this could be a great situation, great night for him.
Wide open West, I would think, but also, of course, from Montreal's vantage point, with Hamilton doing so well tonight, we're falling back into reality after a great 3-0 start, knowing that things could be very tight in the CFL East Division as well. Henry Burris talking to Davis Sanchez, but his first ever pro start was a thing of beauty for him. A couple of touchdown passes to Travis Moore, very composed for his first time in there as a starter. 38-17 Calgary.
Tell you what, the Calgary quarterback factory. Imagine going from Doug Flutie to Jeff Garcia to a solid guy in Dave Dickinson. Dickinson goes down, Burris comes in and has an impressive performance, but he had a little bit of help tonight too, Chris.
He did have some help, and the help was in the fact that Anthony Calvillo made a couple mistakes in the game. The interception when they were going in for 7 points, the interception that led for 7 points for the Calgary Stampeders. That's the determining factor of the game. But let's give some credit to the offensive line of the Calgary Stampeders. They sustained blocks. Kelvin Anderson was in the game. They did a remarkable job of controlling line of scrimmage, and that was an issue at the start of the season. They kind of came of age tonight, James.
All right, now one other game tonight. Hamilton all over Edmonton, 47-8. We'll update you on that a little bit later. But coming up next, we have part 2 of our doubleheader.